What's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, you guys, first story up. Let's talk about Sesame Place and the racism that the people are saying is going down at that particular amusement park. As a matter of fact, they're saying that it happens at many of the Sesame Places. I ain't never even heard of fucking Sesame Place. I was just like, is this part of like Magic Mountain, Six Flags? Do they have like a little section where it's called Sesame Place? But apparently there's an actual attraction called Sesame Place. Child, my kids haven't been little in so long. Oh, how I miss those days. Anyway, you guys, this place in Philadelphia is under fire because of the characters in the parade at Sesame Place have been known to show favoritism towards white children, ignoring black children. I've only seen one video. I know that there are more videos out there. I don't know how this story got to be so humongous, but in the video that has since gone viral, it shows two little black girls, excitedly waiting, as you know our kids are when they're at the parade and they see their favorite characters out there. They're excitedly waiting for a character by the name of, what the child name is, y'all. I'm not familiar with this, but listen, if it ain't Kermit, Miss Piggy, the two old men, the one that looked like Tamar, Gonzo, Animal, Grouch, Oscar the Grouch, the magician, what's his name? One Count Dracula. If it's not Big Bird, Snuffleupagus, the ones that we are used to, Ernie and Bert. Like, I don't know all these other people. Now, this one name is what? Rosita? Child, I wrote the name down. Yeah, Rosita. Apparently, Rosita came down the way, had just high-fived a little white girl that was next to, or a little white child that was next to these two little black girls. And then when the characters saw the two little black girls, it appeared that they were wagging their finger at them like, no, and walked off. Now, a lot of people have gotten a whole bunch of different scenarios from just that. When I first saw it, I said, okay, but you guys know me. I'm always willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. I said, well, did that person actually see the kids? Well, he probably did because he waved his finger at them. Okay. And I'm saying he, but I don't know if it was a he or a she in there. But, so it did look like they saw the two little girls. The mother did say that after that character passed the two little girls, she had stopped the video, but the character went on to hug a little white child next to him. Now, we don't have any of that on video. That's what the mother is saying. I guess we don't have any reason not to believe her. Okay. And then, of course, after that video had gone viral, many other people started posting their videos, or from when they were at Sesame Place, and it looked like there was some sort of racism there. I don't know. I didn't know that it was going to get this big. It's like now they've Sesame Place did put out a statement, half-assed apology, saying that the character did not see the kids down there, down low, and that they weren't blatantly ignoring the children, but that wasn't going to do. The story continued to pick up steam, so then Sesame Place put out another apology and said that they will make sure that they train their employees that particularly play as a character to make sure that they are sensitive to these type of things and know how to conduct themselves with many nationalities and races of people that come to their establishment. Basically you need to treat everybody the same. You've got little kids there that are just excited to see you, and that is all that the kids want. Okay. Now, now I see stories that they're saying that the kids are so affected by this, and that, you know, they just don't understand why the characters didn't want. I was just like, you guys know me. I'm just like, it just seems like, is it the kids that are having these issues, or is it the parents that are pushing for? Now, listen, if the parents have a plan in place, and that the plan is to make sure that they get some money out of this, you know, because they have definitely obtained a lawyer, so they have legal representation now, and it's all of these things that have scarred these children from what they say. And listen, if you're trying to get your money, just get your money. But I just was like, all of this from the character. But I guess people are saying that it shows a pattern of them doing this over and over and over again. And if there is indeed a pattern of racism, you know, of these characters ignoring Black children, then that is a problem, okay? And that does require training. And then it's even a bigger problem if it happens at different Sesame places and not necessarily just in Philadelphia. If this is happening at Sesame Place all over, do they have them all over? I'm assuming that they do. But if this is happening in different Sesame places, then yes, that means that it might be a culture that is being cultivated there. And that is a problem, okay? So it just depends on whether or not this is just some teenage kids that are playing these characters for a summer job and, you know, don't give a fuck and doing this, or is this truly what happens at Sesame Place? Do they not respect their Black patrons who come there, spend their money just like everybody else, and expects to be treated the same way? So that's really what it all boils down to. Here's Mr. Joseph getting home from work, and he's trying to make a scene behind me. Go away, Joe. What do you want, Joe?
What it T.I. is?
I'm doing a video. I just started, so you're interrupting.
You got a late start today.
Because I did it after work. Work was busy.
Who are you telling?
All right. So, but you guys tell me what you think about it. Yes, it is very sad to see children being ignored when they have, like, you know, stars in their eyes and they're innocent and they see their favorite characters and they just want a hug or a high five or even acknowledgement of the kid, you know, of them. I get all of that, but gosh, y'all is real mad. Y'all is real mad. And I just wonder what is going to come of it. Now, apparently, Sesame Place said that after it happened, the mother did confront the characters and said that, you know, you guys ignored my child or whatever. And they offered the mother to have a private little meet with the kids and the characters so that they could spend the time that they wanted to with the characters. And of course, the mother was just like, too little, too late. Okay, so like I said, it's gained all of this traction and it's a huge story right now. And I mean, if you're getting your money out of it, I'm not mad about that. I just, you know, I mean, I can think of plenty of times that just me as a child being disappointed by something, some character or some person or something that I looked up to, and then it just didn't work out, you know. And, you know, legal action and all of that. I mean, it's a different day and it's a different time and people do things very differently these days. And I mean, I guess this is a good example. This is a good example of the, you know, we are in a litigious, is that the word for my real rock star lawyers out there? We are in a society who just loves to press charges or loves to bring a lawsuit, I should say. Nobody's done anything illegal here, but loves a lawsuit. And so y'all just tell me what you think about it. Have you seen the video? How did you feel about it? Leave everything about that in the comments below. All right, you guys, next story up. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta, they've been in the news quite a bit this week. And so we're just going to kind of talk about a couple of the characters on the show, namely Marlo and Sheree. Let's start with Sheree first, okay? So it seems that Sheree was caught on video. I believe it was out here in Atlanta, but she was caught on video enjoying a leisurely stroll with Martell Holt. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it should, because Martell Holt is the man from the show Love and Marriage Huntsville, who went through a very public, nasty, ugly divorce with his now ex-wife, Melody Holt, after not only cheating on Melody, but also producing a baby from that cheating union. So, you know, Martell has been through a lot on the show, so has Melody. And but they finally got their divorce settled, and I guess now that he is free, he is he's out there, he's dating, and he is enjoying himself. Now, if you guys remember, just a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys about Martell and Melody going on vacation together with the kids, and everything looked well, okay? After that, I think that they fell out again, because I could remember seeing some things on the internets about the drama between the two, you know, coming back up again. During this time, Ariane, who you guys lovingly call Coleslaw, which is the side piece that Martell got pregnant, she's had a huge meltdown on social media. She apparently is still involved in some kind of way with Martell. I mean, they have a child together, so they will have to always have some sort of contact with each other until that child is old enough to be able to contact his dad, you know, on his own or her own. I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but Ariane is a whole nother just mess. I'm surprised that we actually haven't seen her rear her ugly head. That's a figure of speech. She's not an ugly woman, but we haven't seen her rear her ugly head after this sighting of Sheree and Martell. I'm still expecting that live to come down any minute now. But yeah, all that being said about Martell, he's free. He's single. He can mingle if he wants to. And if Sheree wants to be on the receiving end of that mingling, then so be it. I mean, he's a good looking man. He's in nice shape. But I'm thinking to myself, like, Sheree, is this really something that you want to do? Is this really something that you want to do? Sheree is a woman around my age. And I tell you guys all the time that peace is what is most important in my life. But that might not be what everybody of a certain age wants, right? But you would think that Sheree has been through so many failed relationships that have gone public. I mean, they're publicly failed relationships. A lot of people have had failed relationships. That's not normal. You know, people, it happens. Shit happens. But the whole thing is, of all the people that you can attach yourself to, all the accomplished people out there, all of the people that are genuinely good people, I don't know if Martell is genuinely good or bad, but what I'm saying is his track record. See, sometimes all you can go by is a fucking track record. Okay? Yes, people deserve the chance to be able to change. It's just like, do you want to be the one to sit there and wait for this person to become this new person? And, you know, it's just sort of like, Sheree, why are you doing this, girl? Why are you doing that? If you're just having fun, then okay, have your fun. She hasn't spoken out, neither has he. Okay. And in the video, they say that they're holding hands. I couldn't make out that they were holding hands, but apparently they're saying that they were holding hands. The video does look like it's her. And there's a point when they go into like a public bathroom together. And then we see them come out, you know, they walk, and then we see them getting into a truck that does look like it's Martell's truck. So, I mean, I think that is her. I'm 85% sure that it's her. Of course, we can't see a real clear picture of her, but it looks like it's her. Okay. And the fact that she hasn't come out and been like, hell no, that ain't me. You think I'm out here running behind Martell Holt, you know, who's much her junior, even though that doesn't matter these days. You know, people will date younger. So, I mean, you know, that's not my thing, but that's what people do. So, I just was just like, oh, Sheree. Okay. Now, they may not be dating. They could be working together, doing some sort of project or collab together. I mean, they're both fitness buffs. Okay. They both have incredible bodies. And so maybe they could be doing something along that venture. It's just that you usually don't hold hands with your business partners. You usually don't get that kind of close. Holding hands is a tad bit intimate. Now, of course, we ain't caught them kissing and we ain't caught them snuggling and hugging or anything like that. But I'll just say that, it's been out there. Everybody is really interested to know whether or not Sheree and Martell are seeing each other. They make a good looking couple. They're very good looking people, so they look nice together. It's just sort of like, girl, on the inside, like, what is it exactly that you look for in a man that would direct you this way? Now, the heart wants what it wants, and I mean, I get all of that, but I'm just like, Sheree, girl, really? I mean, but Sheree, listen, desperate times call for desperate measures, and we got to make sure that Sheree is able to stay on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm sure that's what she's thinking. She needs to make sure that she has a storyline, okay? We ain't even not only mixing TV shows, but we mixing networks. I mean, we got Huntsville is on on OWN, and then we got Bravo, and, it's a whole lot happening here, I don't know how this would all come together, but the same way that, she was with Tyrone this whole season, we ain't seen a nigga, nothing. I mean, I guess she could still be with Martell if she wanted to be, and we wouldn't have to see him either. But I'm just like, girl, I mean, if you're having fun, if that's what it is, then fine. And I mean, it's her life, so whatever it is, it's going to be fine, right? But I just was like, girl, don't be on Real Housewives season 15 crying about that damn Martell. Because that nigga, he must have spectacular ding. Because Martell has had not only Melody, but Ariana out there just crazy. Melody had her crazy moments. And Ariana continues to have her crazy moments. And child, I don't need to see a Sheree crazy. Child, we don't need to see that. Okay, so I just hope you know what you're doing, girl. That's all I'm saying. I just hope she knows what she's doing. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, stranger things have happened, haven't they? Then the next story, you guys, is actually a sad and actually a kind of scary story about Marlo Hampton's home being broken into out here in Atlanta. I believe she has a townhome, but a luxury townhome up in the Buckhead area, up in the Uptown area. And she said back on July 1st, she was interviewed by a local news station out here, but she said that back on July 1st, she was home, her nephews were home. So I was just like, I done told y'all them nephews ain't moved, child. But anyway, her nephews were home, and she said she heard a big boom, and turns out there were 4 armed gunmen who were trying to do a home invasion robbery. Okay, kicked the front door down. One of her nephews screamed out. She said she could tell that was like a scream of fear, a scream of terror. It wasn't just the kids downstairs playing or whatever. She knew something was wrong. She said her heart just dropped. And apparently they got into a panic room, made sure that they were safe, and called the police. And then those 4 guys, it was 4 guys who then didn't end up going in there for whatever reason. Maybe they were scared off because of the boy or whatever, the boy screaming. But they went on to another townhome, and that townhome turned out to be one of the townhomes of Future's baby mama. I guess they were trying to rob that place as well. The police made it there and ended up arresting them. Okay, so the 4, and they believe that these 4 were the ones that were conducting like a string of robberies up in that area. Buckhead is a very affluent neighborhood, and a lot of stuff has been going on in Buckhead. Okay, so they were able to get those 4, and listen, I wouldn't wish this kind of shit on nobody. Home invasion has got to be the most scariest situation. My heart goes out to Marlo. A lot of people are just sort of like, oh well, that's what you get, but I would never say that or think that, because you just don't know what the intentions of these people are. And if they're bold enough to break into your place while you're actually there, they can't be up to good. It cannot be up to good. People end up dying in those situations. And my prayers go up for, people that have been through this, because it's just, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I saw a lot of comments like Marlo deserved it, but nobody deserves that. Like, this is serious. This is real life. This is not a reality show. This is real life, Marlo did say that people who post a lot, show their luxury items, you need to be careful. And I always say that. Even if you don't think you have shit, because, people still will want what you have. It's just, you have to be careful. You just have to be careful. So, yeah, very scary story. Everybody is fine. Nobody was hurt. But like I said, it could have turned out so much worse. It could have just been so much worse. So I'm happy that Marlo and her boys are okay. Everybody else in that, Future's baby mama, whoever she was, that got caught up in that as well. And all the other people that have been affected by this type of robbery or robberies, period. It's just so sad that you cannot have something without somebody else wanting what you have. It's awful. It's awful. But anyway, you guys, that's it for the updates of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And people continue to stay in our mouths, right? Even when they're not on the show. All right, you guys, next story is also a very sad story. A reality star. No, actually, Trina's not a reality star. I mean, she is now, but she is known to be a rapper. We know that Trina's been through a lot. Her brother, was it her brother that was killed? Her mother died from cancer. Now we have her 17-year-old niece, Toni Chester, who the family and friends lovingly called Sugar. She was shot and killed in Florida yesterday outside an apartment complex. So now, when I first heard the story, they actually said that she was in the apartment with some other people. I don't really know what might have happened, but there was some open fire. She and some other people were hit. She was the only one that was killed. Okay, the other people were took themselves to the hospital and were expected to survive. But now I'm reading that she actually was walking home, they're saying, from a corner store, and some shots rang out in front of this apartment complex, and she was hit. They say that the call came through 911 at like midnight. So, I don't know what corner store is open at that time of the night. It doesn't really matter. Okay. I'm just saying that she has been shot either inside or outside the apartment. 17 fucking years old, you guys. It is so devastating to know that this child didn't even get started with her life good before she was gunned down and killed. And that family, who's been through so much, this is just one more thing that they have to deal with. And my heart goes out to them, you guys. The gun violence has gotten to be so bad, and has made my anxiety, I've been trying to keep it under wraps, because I be so worried about everything and things that you cannot control. I can't control what happens to my children. I can't control anything that happens to my spouse. I can't control what happens to my dad and my family. I be so worried that if they out in the world, something happens to them. It's just gotten to that point where I worry about it all the time, and I've been trying to figure out a way to get my anxiety under control, because oh, the world is such a scary, awful place these days. Anyway. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to get emotional about that, but it's just... As far as the police have said so far, there hasn't been any motive for the shooting. They don't know why this happened. and they haven't arrested anybody so far. Okay, but apparently this was an extremely close niece to Trina, so I know that she's going through right now. So our prayers are up to Trina and her family, the little girl's parents, everybody, you guys, just the country. So much going on, so many bad things, but prayers up to everybody involved, and hopefully they find the person that did that. All right, you guys, next story up. I'm sorry, I've got a lot of stuff going on in my regular personal life. Child, I tell you the truth. Anyway, next story. TD Jakes. Let's talk about your boy. You guys know, or maybe you don't know this because I don't know if I've even said it, but TD Jakes has just never been my favorite person. Something about him rubs me the wrong way. He hasn't done anything or said anything really that made me feel this way. It's just something in my spirit, okay? And I feel like I am pretty good judge of character usually. You know, I respect the man as a man of the cloth. He seems to be very knowledgeable. He has a huge flock. He's accomplished many things. So, I mean, I understand who he is. It's just something about him. Okay. But I can't say anything really bad about him. Anyway, people are upset because he recently said in the Father's Day sermon that there's been a breakdown in society because we are raising up women to be men. Okay. And the reason why we've had so many problems in our society is because, well, women aren't made to be men. Women aren't made to lead. When somebody is turning to a woman to be the leader, then it's inevitable that the breakdown would then happen. He even took it back to the Adam and Eve days and said that sin was caused because Adam allowed Eve to lead when he really should not have. Okay, now I'm paraphrasing. The sermon is on YouTube. You can watch it. It has over 700,000 views. So people are starting to watch it more and more. This happened way back on Father's Day, like I said, back in June. But, you know, we're just now talking about it now. But people were upset about that because, well, I mean, women are out here. I don't know if women are just always choosing to have to do everything that a man would do, okay? Sometimes that's just how the fucking ball bounces, okay? If you have been unfortunate enough to hook up with somebody who is not willing to be the lead and the man in your life, then what the fuck is the woman supposed to do, okay? So, you know, instead of us talking about women being raised up as men, how about we talk about the men that need to learn how to lead? And I'm not talking about all men, okay? Definitely there are men out there who definitely are, you know, being the head of their household, being the head of their family, and allowing the woman to feel comfortable enough to let them lead, right? But we got to keep it real. That's not always the case. Okay, there's a lot of weak men out there. And I'm not trying to down men. I love my black men especially. But it ain't just black men. I'm talking about just men in general. You know, maybe the focus ought to be on how we get men to be so strong and want to lead a family, not want to leave their family, not want to not deal because it can be difficult. Okay, so I think the message there is just, you know, I don't know. It's so much going on in the church today. It's so many reasons why people are turned off from going to church. I was raised in the church, but I don't go to church hardly as much as I did growing up, because it's just become so commercialized, and it's just become so in some instances downright nasty, that why would you even want to go there? You're supposed to go to church to feel better. It's supposed to lift your spirits. That throat is trying to close up again, you guys. Oh, I'm emotional today, but you know, this brings me to the subject of Kim Burrell and what she said when she was a guest singer at, I didn't even write down the church, but apparently she was at a church. This church, the pastor is controversial in and of himself because he's been caught out there doing things and saying things that he shouldn't be saying and doing. So already she was in a place where it's all very controversial. And then she gets up there on the podium before she sings, and she basically called these people ugly, talked about them stealing money on the PPP loans, putting, their utilities or whatever in their children's names. I mean, it was so out of place for a place of worship. Like, I'm here to hear the word. I guess those people wanted to make sure that they heard Kim Burrell sing. And for her to get up there and say the thing, and it was so nasty, it felt like it was vile. It didn't feel like anything that you should be laughing at. It was just sort of like, I mean, did she really say that she hasn't seen anybody's faces? I mean, they could be ugly. She hasn't seen anybody. She hasn't determined that they were ugly yet. It's just sort of like, why are you doing this? And I'm here to be uplifted. Okay, I'm in a place of God. Like, I need to hear the word. I want to hear the singing. And here you are calling me ugly and saying that I stole this money from people. Like, now, it just is just. It's just such a bad look on the Christian community, and it's hurtful when you hear people say, well, that's exactly why I don't go to church. Okay, because they too judgmental and they just nasty, and they, so after everybody saw the video, I think that she just seems to be a very mean person. She doesn't seem to be a nice person, because people aren't misunderstood that much, Usually things don't continue to happen over and over again that just kind of solidifies your feelings about a person. But Kim Burrell, you never hear her saying nice, positive things, or maybe she says them and we just don't get it on video. Maybe they ain't circulating that. But this was awful. She did put out an apology, if you want to call it an apology, because really the apology was like, I'm sorry I said that. I didn't mean that, or I was a nice person and I'm just making jokes, but I'm fixing to sue all you motherfuckers out there who's saying all these bad things about me on the blogs. Like, she was really threatening to come after the people on some shit that she said. She was the one that said what she said, but now she's threatening to sue everybody because she doesn't like how she's being portrayed. Well, I mean, you said the words. We're not portraying you no kind of way, but so she did do that. People didn't take well to that. So she came out with another apology. I didn't even read the second apology. Okay. But she clearly has seen this time that maybe she went too far. But I don't know, you guys. It's just, I tell you, I've had some of my best times in church. I really have. Okay, but that was when I was younger. And I don't know what has become the state of the church today. It's just, this kind of stuff didn't happen when I was young and singing in the choir and enjoying, praising the Lord, and now it's just become this. It's just so unfortunate, you guys. And the people who are in the church that continue to let them, let her say and do these kind of things, it's just sort of like, I don't know, you guys, but I want to move on from this story. But have you guys seen the video? Tell me what you think about Miss Kim Burrell. Is she misunderstood, or is she just an old mean ass bitch?